Perfect. Let's do it again. Liam.
I want to be the leader now.
Okay.
No, I want to be the leader now.
You can all be the leader. So Logan's the leader next time. And so this is Logan's going to be the leader this time. So what happens is, Damien, you say, okay, Logan's the leader this time, and then Logan, you go, let's go this way, and then everybody else runs that way. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Ready? And action.
Okay, you're the leader now. Okay, cut. Wait, that broke.
Hello all, today's topic is leadership. Somebody on social media asked me to talk about leadership, so that's what we're going to do. When they asked me, I really was wondering what I had to say about leadership because I don't really consider myself a leader. However, when I think about the role that I play in some people's lives, I guess that it would be easy to classify me as a leader. I like to consider myself more of a guide than a leader, really. But anyway, I'll give it a shot. I'll talk about my ideas of being an effective leader, or at least my ideas of being an effective teacher. I think would probably be a better way for me to describe kind of how I view my role in things. So a couple of notes that I want to make before then. Some of you have asked me to talk about things that you may think that I've ignored, but I haven't. A couple of things that people have asked me about, I want to try to include in most of the videos. Like somebody asked me what the difference between Hollywood mysticism and real mysticism was. And that's one of the things that anytime that I can kind of shove that into one of my talks, I will. And then somebody else asked me that it would be great to hear some of the stories from when I traveled and things. And I love anecdotes and stories, so I'm going to try to incorporate those also into these talks. So fear not, all that stuff will be in here. So anyway, going back to leadership or teaching or guidance, one of the key things I think as a teacher, as a leader, teacher, guide, whatever, is to try to not be divisive. And what I mean by that is I don't mean this kind of political correctness where you're afraid of upsetting people. That isn't really what I mean. What I mean is that it's important to kind of stay neutral if you plan on being an effective leader. Of course, unless you want to be like an MLK or a Gandhi, where you're definitely kind of standing up against oppressors. But even then, if it's important to choose that common ground. And not to cause any more divisiveness within your ranks, because the minute you cause divisiveness and you tell somebody basically that they're wrong, or then you've defeated unity, and so then your kind of troop or your tribe is going to kind of split and fraction. And if you look at all of the movements in the world, religions included, you see where that's happened, where there's been somebody that goes, oh, you're wrong, and then it all splits. So the way that I approach this, because again, I'm not talking about being politically correct, and what I am talking about is allowing people to come to their own conclusions. And so if somebody comes to me and they go, oh my gosh, this is the way that I feel about global warming, or this is the way that I feel about politics, or this is the way that I feel about blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to say, oh, I think that you're wrong. I'm going to respect their opinion, and I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to agree or disagree. I'm going to try to remain neutral. And what that allows them to do is that allows them to explore on their own and come to their own conclusions, and I don't become a source of division for them. And as long as I can remain a neutral party. Hope that makes sense. The other thing is I keep talking about guiding people, and it all comes back to when I was Story time. When I was a kid, I was in my 20s, probably, I don't know, early 20s, if that. And I was living in Indianapolis, and I was trying to get my life back on track. Was getting my GED and was planning on going to seminary and all that stuff. I was working at a daycare center for toddlers. And one of the cool things that they would tell me to do is they were like, we don't yell, we don't spank, we don't do any of that. If you see a toddler like heading towards scissors, you just redirect them. You just kind of turn them around and they'll keep going in the same direction they were going, and so it's really easy to kind of redirect their energy. Well, I've taken that with me throughout my life, and I realized that it is really easy to redirect humans' energy in general. And so that's kind of how I view myself as a guide. Is really try not to force people and say go here or do this. I don't want to be a bossy or a bully or any of that, but I do try to guide people. And so if somebody is heading towards something that I see may be dangerous to them, physically, mentally, or emotionally, I'll be like, try to do this other thing, and that's really kind of how I view it. And I try to just guide people towards a safer, more healthy direction. I'm going to apologize. My phone is going to be going off today. Today is my birthday, so my phone's buzzing and bleeping and blinging and doing all kinds of things. So anyway, so yeah, I prefer guiding rather than leading. Helping people find a direction that's going to be positive to them. Now, this is the next thing I want to talk about is kind of one of the things that I see happen time and time again, and I think it's very unfortunate because it misguides people a great deal. What will happen is somebody will have a personal awakening, a spiritual awakening of some kind within their own psyche, and they'll decide during that time of heightened energy and enthusiasm and ecstatic ecstasy that their message belongs to the entire world, when in fact it was just a personal awakening that they had. You see this over and over and over and over again. I would actually go so far as to say that every religion, every spiritual movement, every cult began this way, with somebody going, oh my gosh, I get it, I must tell the world. Now, sometimes that's a great thing, like in cases of Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, they had this great message, they shared it with the world, it changed many, many people's lives. Other times, not so good. I can think of Heaven's Gate, I can think of Jim Jones, so it's always good to do a self-check. And so when I am working with people, I really try to qualify statements in the sense that this is what happened to me, this is what worked for me, I've come to understand, I've come to realize, because I want to keep that door open so that they realize that I'm speaking from my own truth, my own wisdom, my own understanding of things, which is always always tainted. As much as we would like to believe that we see things in the true, untainted, real way, the truth of it is our brains are what we're seeing reality through, and our brains have been altered because of our experiences and our genetic true predispositions. So unless we are a fully awakened being, are in fact a Buddha, then we do not see reality purely. So as much as we want to give somebody a pure message, we're incapable. So we have to, as long as we understand that, then we can, it's all good, because then we can, again, preface things with my understanding, my perception, my reality, and then this is what I did, and then you can, and as long as you're not attached to that, then you can really help people, because people may be in a position where they can accept part of it, And they can be like, you know what, I like the first part of that, but the last part I don't think is going to work for me. And because you're not attached to it, you realize that it's your own personal awakening and it doesn't belong to the world, then it's easier for you to detach and go, good, well, I'm glad part of it was helpful. What happens is when people think that they have received a message, that they are somehow special and unique, which we all are special and unique, I know, but what I mean is better than. When we think that we've had a personal liberate or a message from the universe that we must deliver to the rest of the world, it fits into our ego, and our ego says we are better than everyone else. Even though we won't admit that, we go, oh no, I really think that I'm equal, But as soon as we go, I've been chosen for this message, what we're really saying is that I am somehow better than everyone else. So if we can let go of that, and we can deliver our experience, strength, and hope to people in a way that we're not attached to it, then we can really, really help them, because then they can, again, take pieces of it. And then you can guide them, because you can go, oh, good, this part works for you, then let's start there. And let's help you find your own experience and have your own personal awakening. Gala Rinpoche, when he talks about the Dharma, when most people think of the Dharma, they think of the teachings of Buddha. When he expresses it to us and he says Dharma, what he is talking about what he says he's talking about is our own personal understanding of things. So that when we have a direct experience with something, that becomes our Dharma. That becomes our truth. That becomes our experience. Because if it's a Dharma for us personally, nobody can change our mind about it. Only we can, because we've had this kind of direct contact with it. And it's kind of like, when you're a kid and you get carrots and you go, I don't like carrots, and your parents go, oh, sure you do, and you're like, no, I'm pretty sure that I don't. But as you grow, your taste buds may change, and you may develop a taste for carrots, and you go, now I like carrots. Who knew? So that's what I'm talking about. When we have that direct experience with something, nobody is going to be able to change our perception of it. It's impossible. Only we can change our perception of it. So when we have a personal experience ourselves, the best that we can hope for is to guide other people so that they can have their own personal experience, not so that they can have ours. Or we can't expect them to take on ours as truth, because they have not had that personal experience. Does that make sense? So that's a big thing, is how to separate personal experiences from universal experiences. Okay? Alrighty. Allowing for mistakes is another good thing. And this kind of goes back into the whole thing of allowing people to have a personal experience and just kind of guiding them towards that. A lot of times I just take a back seat and I watch people and I wait for them to ask me for help. I don't push myself on them, and I don't jump in there and correct their mistakes. Because what happens is they will shut down. If you remember, again, being a kid and you're trying to do something and somebody jumps in and goes, oh, let me do that for you. You shut down. You lose interest, because what was fun about it was you actually doing it. So spiritual work is very much the same thing, or anything is very much the same thing. People really become invested when they get their hands dirty. And so, and again, this goes back to the whole idea that people need to develop their own truth, their own personal experience with things, their own awakening with things. And if we do that for them, then we're taking that experience away from them. Also, if we come charging in and going, I know what is best for you, I know what is best for you, people are going to shut down, and then it goes back to that whole creating divisiveness. We've created divisiveness. If you come in and go, you know what, we're all kind of headed towards this goal, let's help each other out, then you're creating unity, and you're allowing for people to make their own mistakes. People are going to trip, people are going to fall, people are going to mess up, people are going to do the wrong things, people are going to do the right things, people are going to say the wrong thing, people are going to say the right thing. But each step that they have, they will learn. And so as a leader or as a teacher or as a guide, my job is to help them to harness those moments and to milk those moments for the experience that they're worth. So I don't see things as being bad things or good things. I see everything as being an experience or an opportunity to become further liberated. And so it's my job not to tell them what they did wrong or what they did right. It's my job to help them to milk that experience out of it and to help them get further and further and further liberated. Does that make sense? Okay, good. I love how I asked the camera, does that make sense? Like the camera's going to answer me. One day it will, and that'll totally freak me out. But that'll be my own personal experience, and I won't share it with the world. At least I don't know. Maybe I will. Who knows? Anyway, I'm trying to slow down my pace. One of my viewers said that I get really, really excited and I talk really fast, and I realize that, so I'm trying to slow down my pace. Hopefully I did better today because I meditated right before I did this. Only when I'm reading my notes and I'm trying to figure out what that is all about. Oh, I kind of mentioned this before, but it has to do with guiding people when they ask you to. And I meet so many people that think it's their job to fix the people around them. I think it's great that we have this desire to heal the suffering of others. I think that that's a wonderful, obvious ambition and a motive to have. However, if we have this kind of bullying approach that I'm going to fix you, or I know what's best for you, then again we're causing divisiveness. We're not causing unity. The difference of it is if I come up to you and I was like, me and you are going to eat pizza, and you don't necessarily like pizza, then immediately your reaction is going to be one of aversion. You're going to be like, I don't want to go out to eat with you because of the pizza, not because of me. Maybe it is because of me, who knows? But if I come up to you and go, you know what? I'm hungry. Are you hungry? Well, yeah, I'm hungry. Well, then let's go together. Let's go out and get something to eat. What are you in the mood for? Then I'm creating unity. And then we're working towards a common goal. So I have a personal, kind of a personal rule that I don't offer advice or guidance to anyone until they ask me. That I will listen, I will love, and I will empathize. That's what I do. I listen, I love, I empathize. 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 Are you getting this? I listen, I love, I empathize. Then when they are ready, not when I'm ready, when they are ready, and they say, what do you think? Can you help me? What should I do? That's when I have this opportunity to help them. If I have anything that's worth that may help them, that's the opportunity where I can inject it. That's the opportunity where I can go, well, it's been my experience. Again, I'm going to talk from my experience. It's been my experience that this and this and this and this. It's been my experience that this and this and this and this. When I was in this situation, this is what I did. What I take from this is this. What I see is this. I try to refrain from sentences that start off with you should, because that's not talking from my experience. That is talking from my ego. Anytime I say you should, I'm talking from my ego. What I really mean is I know what's best for you because I'm smarter, better than you. That's what I'm really saying. Now, I know that that is hard for you to hear, and I get that because it was hard for me to hear, but it's the truth. So I want to be a guide. I don't want to be a leader necessarily. I want to help people get liberated because I want to be liberated, and I can't be liberated until we're all liberated. And to me, that is the motivation, the proper motivation of a leader. The proper motivation of a leader is, I am not free until we're all free, so let's all get free together. It's just that simple. So if I'm not acting in that motivation, if I'm acting in a motivation of this is what I can get or this is what I can gain, then I've lost the focus, and eventually it's going to split. Because if the ultimate goal is an ultimate freedom for all sentient beings, then somewhere along the line there's going to be a division. Does that make sense? Again, I'm asking the question. the camera? It's a rhetorical question. Rhetorical question. So that is my talk today. I hope it's been helpful. Please leave me comments down below. Or send me an email, calebstorms@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. I hope you're enjoying this video series. Have a great day. Peace out.